making lemonade. Inside out parts of me. Rewiring hidden disabilities. Welcome to the lab. 2MK, aka Uzuri. At times, life is like an arrow. It often pulls us back in order to prepare us for being propelled forwards. You are a particularly well crafted arrow. Your setbacks make way for even better comebacks. An arrow always has an intended target, so focus on the mark. Case study 88. For demonstrative purposes. Oh, okay. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Rewiring letters, messages, then brown envelopes that come with distressing messages. Today, many things are trying to be passed on as not just law and sanctions, but these cuts, these it's not even just infringement of people's rights anymore. So much to say. I was gonna go live, but I just thought, welcome to the kitchen. Welcome to the lab as well. I mean, let me ask you guys some questions. Do you know what grief feels like in the body? Do you know how heavy it is to not only be denied something that can not only bring balance but help you thrive? These cuts are getting dangerous. Trying to remember my signing. Oh, just regulate. So yeah, we're just live rewiring. I'm gonna speak to you. I need to remember that it's over there. I need to speak to you. It's the 9th of July. I'm gonna stop saying this. So hopefully this is the last time I might say this. I might say this again in a different part of my mind. Where do we begin? Really, where do we begin? I know a lot of people have been like, you need to share your story, and I'm like, kind of done parts of that over the years. Some parts where I really focused on that expressive side of myself in terms of journaling, and just when I was paralyzed and I wasn't able to not move for quite some time in one position. I still have moments like that as well, and periods like that as well. And I want to introduce the topic about medication, what self-medication looks like, why addictions are how they, like, why do they present themselves in a particular way, like how did it start? And I think having these honest conversations around not just how people cope and deal with those brown letters or constant reminders that the system was never made for people like us. We're not products. We're not products. And the fact that we are being treated like that, like a money thing, along with the discrimination, along with the red tape, along with there's just so much to say. And I think this video is sponsored by Plurally. I'm going to be multi-layered in my speech. This is one of the reasons why when I did the live, I was like, I'm just gonna start putting my stuff out there. And of course you want it out in a certain way, you want to represent your community in a certain way, you want it to deliver messages, you want it to be cohesive, you want it to, you know. And then I started realizing that it's not just, you know, different aspects of articulation, it's also the freedom to express yourself in a way that feels either balanced for you, or you're getting a release out, and this is where now you think, is this release good, is this release bad? And I think when you look at all the things that are surrounding you, the things you have to navigate, the people you meet, the people unexpectedly you cross paths with, the impact that's made from certain decisions, from people that have not lived our lives and know what it's like to not just be in our shoes, but be in our skin, be in our clothes, be in our spaces or homes, if most people have. Do you get what I mean? So even those that do not have a home or a roof over their head, a lot of them are deemed a particular way, and oh, it's just so much to say. But I did write some notes. Okay, people ask me, what happened? How how did I get into the chair? Why am I using a stick? You're able to get up and move at this time. And other people are like, are you sure you're not faking it? Don't give people a bad name. I've had to have those conversations quite visibly charged, meaning either it's in person or it's a question that's brought up in different settings. And I think rewiring visibility to me was more than just the grid. It was me and you being here, seeing each other in different capacities. Sometimes we don't notice, we don't know what's going on in people's lives behind the screen, behind the technology. But because of technology, we are being exposed to so much more pain that is going on in the world that does not need to be repeated again. And we've got to see that through the phone. So you'll often find me repeating the thing over and over again. Also, heads up, I think I said this in one of my logs, but I didn't get to post it, is one of the things that upsets me about the benefit cuts is the resources that people are still like, are still, with what we've got, we're still trying to navigate how we're using our money for particular things. Now they want to do this whole thing of, this was before when they were trying to do that, go into your account, see how you're spending, so they can dictate how they want you to spend it. But you're not going to come and tell me, by the way, we're not going to fix the heating or the energy consumption in your house because we've put a faulty thing in there and we don't want anything to do with it. We'll come and do your checks for you. We'll come and get what we need from you. We won't resolve the issue. Yes, we'll leave you without heating for nearly 4 years. Yes, we will do that. Yes, you can file a complaint. Oh yes, of course you can take it to the ombudsman. Yes, we'll send that email where we tell you your complaint, stage 1, we're not going to investigate it again. You can go to the ombudsman if you want. And I'm like, so you don't want to escalate it to stage 2. You don't want to resolve the issue. But I'm still yet left paying for the consumption I'm not using for a fault that isn't my own. Sacrificing on how much food I'm meant to get, what I can do, where I can go, how I do it. So there's this whole thing about the cars as well. There's just so much. It's just so much. And because it's happening around the world in different ways, this is like not just one aspect of it. This is just a reminder of everything that keeps happening, and people are not being held accountable. there's no reparations, there's no balance given, it's just more stress, more stress, more stress. So with more stress, you're going to have more illnesses, more disabilities, more people struggling when they don't need to, countries being left worse off, yet they're literally taking these resources and not making, just for flip's sake. Anyway, it's a lot. So at this point, I really don't care. Call me crazy. Call me crazy. We're gonna rewire that, and that's what we have been doing. And I guess the funny thing is, like, to all the people that have encouraged me to come out and put my stuff out, I've always said, and when I do, I will. And that it will become evident why so many people want to stay anonymous. I know the optics. Don't want to speak them into existence, but I know the optics. I know what I can possibly open up for myself in regards to certain things and the people in my life. So I've had to go at such a pace, right? Okay, back on topic. What happened? How did I end up using the wheelchair? Deterioration, my loves. Deterioration in existing, like, what do they say? Existing chronic conditions, long lasting, lifelong. This is the language that they like to use in these things, right? So we already know being HIV positive is not a death sentence anymore. It shouldn't have to be, but why does it still feel like that now with all the things going on? Because they're saying it's getting harder to prove certain things, but there comes a point where there's a pattern. So it was Mental Health Day yesterday, but really it's every single day. A lot of these days that are stated are to bring not only awareness, but to allow people to have their voice and to share it despite what the internet says. So yeah, I'm going live tonight, and I do want to reiterate how important it is that I am not sensationalizing any part of this journey, and I've been so deliberate and intentional and sometimes overthinking everything around how I want to represent not just a dissociative community, but many other creatives out there that are navigating their health. I do not speak for all. I can only speak for myself. And thanks to case study 88, which is connected to me, but really it's not, it's all of us. Many of these systems around us see us as file numbers, cases that are either ignored, hard to figure out, and so much more. So what you will see on the live is I'm going to break down dissociation. And I definitely will waffle. I definitely will ramble, but I've got my points. And I've been wanting everything to be set and ready. And I've had a lot of people that have just encouraged me that, look, your journey has been what it's been for many reasons. Sometimes you get in your own way. But the reality is, if you can imagine every part of yourself, majority of yourself is compartmentalized with different emotions, different feelings, different thoughts. Oh wait, I think you can, because that's part of the human experience. So inside out in real time, from Soul 22's perspective and many other things, yeah, it is nerve-wracking to be back online, back on the grid. And some people would be like, so why are you using this cartoon filter? Well, what if I told you? Twisted tales, for real. What if I told you that what you think is in your head, majority of the time, is connected to something so much bigger than yourself? And so
Here we go.